Hello. In this video I will be reviewing the 2007 movie No Country for Old Men, written and directed by Joel and Ethan Coen, based on the book by Cormac McCarthy. No Country for Old Men is about a hunter named Llewellyn Moss, played by Josh Brolin, who is hunted down by a hitman named Anton Chigurh, played by Javier Bardem, after stumbling in on a drug deal that went badly out in the middle of the desert. There will be spoilers in this video, so if you have not seen No Country for Old Men, I highly recommend you watch it before you watch this video. No Country for Old Men is one of my favorite movies. One great thing that it does is create very compelling characters. I wouldn't really say that there's a main protagonist, but if you had to choose one, it would be Llewellyn Moss, played by Josh Brolin. I find it interesting to watch how blunt he is to people around him. When he just refuses to tell his wife, Carla Jean, about how he found the money in the desert, it's quite funny and it tells you a lot about his character.
You don't need to know everything, Carla Jean.
I need to know that.
This makes him seem kind of unlikable, but with the way it's done, it comes across more like banter than he's actually keeping stuff from her. It's made very clear that he actually does love and care about his wife. He's also shown to be very self-sufficient and resourceful when he does things such as throwing the money over the border or hiding it in the vent at the motel. Another great character is Sheriff Ed Tom Bell, played by Tommy Lee Jones. The movie starts with some shots of the desert with a monologue from him that makes it clear he thinks the world has gotten much worse than it used to be.
I was sheriff of this county when I was 25 years old. Hard to believe. Grandfather was a lawman, father too. Me and him were sheriffs at the same time, him up in Plano and me out here.
This was actually taken from the book. At the start of each chapter, there are about 2 pages of him talking about certain experiences he has had and sort of comparing what he views as the good old days to what he views as the bad modern days. Obviously they couldn't just have his monologues throughout the movie like they did in the book, so they combined parts of them all together at the start of the movie to set the tone. It's very fascinating and kind of sad seeing him come to realize by the end of the movie that the world has always been a harsh place and he's just become older and less able to handle it. I think this is what the title, No Country for Old Men, refers to. While Josh Brolin and Tommy Lee Jones are great as Llewellyn and Ed Tom, the most interesting character in the movie would have to be Anton Chigurh, played by Javier Bardem. I probably pronounced that wrong. From the first time we see him, something about him seems off. He has a strange haircut and looks as if he is sleep deprived. He talks in a very monotone way, and when he smiles, it just looks a bit strange. At the start of the movie we see him kill 2 people, which makes it clear he's a psychopath, and he seems to gain some enjoyment out of killing. While he is psychotic, he isn't just a completely lifeless villain. It is shown throughout the movie that he's a deeply principled person. He always sticks to his word. This is shown in the scene where he kills Carla Jean.
I knew this wasn't done with.
She says, "You don't have to do this," and he simply replies,
People always say the same thing.
What do they say?
They say, you don't have to do this.
In most movies they would have just have him say that, but they show this earlier in the movie when he kills Carson Wells.
You don't have to do this.
He gives her an opportunity to live based on the flip of a coin, but she refuses to call it.
This is the best I can do. Call it.
Earlier in the movie we see him do a similar thing with an old man at a gas station who says something that annoys him.
Call it. Call it, yes.
The fact that he is willing to decide to kill someone or not based on the flip of a coin shows how little he values human life. Javier Bardem gives a very chilling performance, and he really transforms into the character. If you just look at a photo of him and a photo of Anton, it's just two completely different people. No Country for Old Men also has very good cinematography. There are a lot of shots in the desert, which gives the scenes a very desolate look. Many of the scenes that take place in the desert remind me a lot of Breaking Bad. One of my favorite shots in the movie is in the scene where Llewellyn is being chased by a truck at night, and there's a shot where you see a silhouette running over the hill with the truck following him, and its orange headlights are shining behind him. That whole sequence where he's being chased by the truck and the dog is very suspenseful. The final scene I want to talk about for cinematography is the scene where Anton kills the members of the Mexican gang in the motel. Not so much the shootout itself, even though that is very well done, but more the build-up. There's a great shot while he's walking past the rooms, where his face is in the dark, but as he walks in front of the light, it slowly becomes more visible, and there's sort of green lighting. It's almost filmed like a horror movie, and really adds to the suspense. When Anton is walking past all the rooms, it's interspersed with shots of Llewellyn trying to get the briefcase out of the vent, making you think that he's going to go into Llewellyn's room. It almost makes you think Llewellyn is actually going to die in this scene when he stands in front of the door and holds the bolt gun towards the doorknob. When he actually goes into the room, it is also very well done. There is no music, and the violence isn't really dramatized at all. It just sort of happens, much like it would in real life. I think Llewellyn's death is also very well handled. Most people would predict that not only would he survive, but if he were to die, that Anton would kill him. In any other movie, it would also be a very dramatic moment. He's not killed by Anton. He is killed by the Mexican cartel, and you don't even see the death. This may seem off-putting to some people, but I like it because of how sudden it is, and like I said with the scene where Anton kills the Mexicans, it's realistic because it isn't really dramatized. Because in real life, from what I've heard, it's not a big dramatic moment when someone is killed. They're just there, and then they're not anymore. Which I think this movie shows very well. So overall, No Country for Old Men is obviously an amazing movie, and I will be giving it a 5 out of 5. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video.
It's been traveling 22 years to get here, and now it's here. And it's either heads or tails. And you have to say, call it.